Ho ho ho! Hello everybody, welcome back to Making Richie Rich. Sporting a nice Christmas jumper here. Got a little Rudolph going. As you can probably guess, this video is a Betfair video, and I know people have been asking about this for a while. Where's the bots? Where's the bots? I was focusing on my new mini passion, the back rat. So if you haven't watched any of those, go check them out. It's been great fun. I've been enjoying it, but there's been a hold on the bots challenge for one reason. I'd asked a member of my Discord group, S-Mon. I'm gonna guess his name is Simon, but I don't know. It could be just S-Mon. He may be like Digimon. I don't know. I did. But S-Mon in the Discord group, huge shout out. Like, I can't thank this person enough because he took all my data from the bots and is helping me analyze them all and break it down so I can restructure my staking plan. And I'm going to show you some of that now. Just to sort of try and figure out, because a few of them were fine and then they weren't fine. They were going maybe a bit longer runs. So it's like, right, well, how can I find out without having to go through all the data myself, like scrolling down, physically counting how many losses I had in a row. And like on certain ones, like the fourth, where I could have 40 losses in a row. I don't want to be sitting doing that. But what I wanted to find out as well was like the longest losing run, the average losing run, and the price. Your price, which are going to be your lowest price and your average price. So you can help sort of work out what you should set your staking plan at. For example, if your lowest odds are 2, right? You can only afford really to be going 1 on that, because if you put 1 on, you're getting 1 back, you're getting double your money. So you can't really afford to be going, 2 in the one race or 2 at the same stake. So it's just to work out things like that. The problem is the way I'm doing my bots, and we'll go over and look at that at the moment, is I don't use unsettled markets. And what unsettled markets means, if you're new to this, is it will not place a second bet until the first one is settled. Simple. The problem is with that, especially with Betfair and the Greyhounds, it can be really, really slow to settle for whatever reason. There's loads of things that can happen. The track could get delayed. It could be a really close call, so you have to wait. And Sod's Law, or the Betfair gods as I like to call them, love, and I mean love, for that next race that you did not get on will 100% be the one that wins. Like, I've seen it, and I'm sure other people out there, comment below if you've experienced this, but it's almost like you can guarantee it, but the minute you try to guarantee it and put money on it, it won't work. But the minute you don't put the money on it, that's when it wins. Like, it's, the Betfair gods. So I leave unsettled markets off. But what can happen there, especially with the strategy I'm using at the moment, is it can place the same bet twice, because it won't move up the staking ladder until the previous one is settled. And then it'll correct itself. So say, for example, I go 1-1, 1p, 1p, and it goes on 2 bets. If they haven't settled, the third one could be 1p. And if the other 2 settle, then it'll skip to maybe the 4th step, which could be. And I can do that. And it can work in your favour, work against you. It's one of those ones you're going to have to take. Unfortunately, because there's no way you're going to have the bankroll to do it manually, because you have to start at £1. And I'll show you in a wee minute why you can. I'll show you now why I'm talking about it. If we look at this chart, okay, 1p we're starting at. Now you imagine that's £1. You want £1, £2, £4, £8, 16, 32, £64, £128. Before you're getting up around here, there's £1,000. You just couldn't do it. It just wouldn't be practical, especially if I have a wee look. The back the favourite. The average longest loss streak is 7. So it roughly wins on every 7th race. On average, the longest was 20. Now, I know personally I've seen it go to 24 once. I think that was the longest recorded. I haven't seen it actually, that's a lie. I think the most I've seen it was 19. But since my bots, based on my data, it's went 20 at one point. So even if we were to do this straight up like that, you're talking $5,000 you need to put on there. We're not doing that, And I've come up with a way around that, that hopefully lets us get further down the loss scale before we start then having an increase. So for example, say if instead of starting at 1, we stay at 1p here, we go 1p the whole way down and we get to about 5. So the worst case there, we've lost 5p. If it wins in between or whatever, a couple of pence here and there. But then that's when we start to double. And we start going up that way. But what we can do is, based on what our odds range is, so say for example the average odd range is 3 on this, you can maybe afford to go 1p. You can do it twice, because if one wins, you're in profit. If the other one wins, you should hopefully even out. Now you might get one slightly shorter odds, so you might not. You could have two at odds of 2 beside each other, and you're not going to make much there. But you can get a favourite who's odds of 3.5 or 4, and then you can make some more money there. But the way I'm doing that is, so for example, I can start, say on the 5th one, I change it to 2p, 2p, 4p, 4p, 8p, 8p, 16, 16. And already, by the time we get up to 20, we're nowhere near those big high numbers that we need to stake, just by losing a couple of pence possibly at the start. But it's allowing you further into that run. And that's sort of the theory I've had behind everything and how I worked out all my staking plans. And let me see if I can show this to you. Nope, that's just Betfair. There we go. Have to turn everything else off and go to black screen. Yes, there we go. So this is my back the favourite one that Esmon in my Discord group done for me. So he analysed all my data from the 25th of October up till 28th. You can see the wee period in between where I wasn't running the favourite because I was trying to work out the staking plan. But let's have a look at this. Okay, so the longest loss streak is 20. The average is 7. And the average occurrence that it happened on the 20th was, or 20 losses was twice it's happened. So to protect yourself and your bankroll, you want to work out then, right, can I go 20, maybe 21, and then you can work out how much you're going to need to run that. Now, alternatively, what you could do is you could split it up. So instead of going for 20, you can go for 10. So if we go back to our chart here, 10, we could do 1p right up to 10. So worst case scenario, loses or wins or lost. You win on the 10th one, or loses on the 10th one, we'll go that. You've lost £10.24, and then you can restart back. Problem is, if you pick up a win in between here, you're not going to recover that £10. So you can maybe find, right, well, my safe place is, the average win is 7, I think it was said there. I'm going to let it go to 11. That means I'm only risking £20. And then I'll restart. But the problem is, if that happens a couple of times, you're down a lot of money and you might not recuperate it. So it's like all these things, it's about taking a risk. Whereas I'm trying to figure out, right, a way to go the full distance and not be blowing my bankroll. How can I get this £20 here to last me the whole way up to the 20 stakes, which hopefully I have done on a few of them. My back to 4th or 5th has been performing really well. So down a wee bit recently, hasn't had any major big wins, but still ticking along nicely. We'll know what we'll do. We'll get it up. So here we go. Here's my back to 5th, £166.30. It's a lot easier because the odds are so big. Up around here it's a lot tighter. I readdressed my staking plans last night when I got this data. Back the second favourite is minus 41p at the moment, and the back the fourth 35p, but I think it's probably going on a wee bit of a run. Let's have a wee look. Yeah, so it's due to get a win hopefully soon. And the thing is there, we win there 4p times 7, 14, 28p. That brings that right back down. Okay, whereas over here, I might need to tighten it up a wee bit because we're getting a lot of wins lower down. which isn't really breaking even. This one I've been performing really, really well, up to about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and it's only minus £9, but I think it was up £30 at one point. And I think that's why I decided to go and have a look at what the longest losing run was, because I think it happened 3 times in the one day where it just went the full distance. So that's why I want to get this data and put everything on hold for a week or two. Now I still had these running the whole time, but I paused the second, third and fourth. The first one, the back the favourite's always going to be a slower burn because the odds are so short. If we go and have a look at this, I'll get my staking plan up, make sure I'm showing. So here's my plan. I'm trying to miss out a couple at the start. Now I readdressed this last night, but here I am going for 1p's, right? So you lose that first 4 races, you've lost 4p. Big whip. Same here. I did another 4 at 2p. Then I narrowed down and I went 4p, 4p, 8p, 8p. And then when we get to here, it ramps up. But worst case scenario, if it goes 21 races, I've only lost £40 roughly. Because what have you lost here? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12p. You've lost on the first 8 races. You know, the average win, it says it's 7 on this. So it's fine. Kind of hoping it goes on the longer runs because that's where we're going to see the bigger profit. Certainly from here onwards. Now, if you have more of a bankroll, you can go on up. You know, you could do 40. And then maybe 80 as you build your bankroll. Or you can decrease these down so you're getting more wins down there. But these things are all going to have to be up to you and your bankroll and your risk that you're wanting to do. This is what I'm doing. I'm going to be testing this out. So obviously keep following along for the channel to see how these are performing. You know, if you don't want to risk it yourself, it's probably the best way. That's how I'm going about them. Now, the reason as well is the average odds. If we go back, to my Excel sheet, where are we? Max odds was £3.39 or £3.39. That was the max odds for the favourite. Average max odds, I should say, there's one race there, was 540. You know, you do get a couple more, but the average was 3.39. Our lowest odds average is 1.39. Now, that's taking the average of all the lowest, but I never bet anything lower than 2. So that's, I suppose it is sort of correct. I don't know how that works out, but I have it set so it doesn't go any lower than 2. Because any lower than 2, you're at a loss. You're not breaking even. So the average odds is 2.17, which would be about right. That's what we're looking. So you can see there's not much movement in the favourite. If we go to my back the favourite here, we can see the difference. Average odds is 15. Lowest odds is 5.7. And max odds 94 on average. Right, so the way I would look at that is like, right, well, my lowest odds is 5.7, nearly 6. So I can afford to go 5 at the same level. So I can go 5 1p's, 5 2p's, 5 4p's. Because if one of them win, you will make a profit. Especially if it's odds of 15 or 16. Because if I'm only doing 5 of those, even if I win once in those 5, that 1p times 15 is 14p. Because you take the one off. But always remember, you're taking one off because you don't get your stake back. I think it is, whatever way it works. So if it's really 14. If it's 15, it's really 14. So 1 times 14, 14p. Even if that's at the 5th staking level, which is you've now put 5p on, you're still going to make profit. But it can go in 51. So, and that's how people have been asking how you work that out. That's how I'm basing my whole theory around all this. It's just about, and it's probability, because a dog, and I've had a couple at 100 to 1 should not be winning. And that's the whole point. Like, I don't care about doing all back testing on a certain horse or certain dog and how they perform, because they don't always perform. Whereas this here, on average, law of averages and probability, it will come in. Maybe not the first time or second time, third time, or in this case, the 50th time, but you will get it. This one has had, over 4,000 races on this. It's actually been more to date, and it's still in profit. And again, using this data now, I can go in and look at my staking plan and readdress it. I've got money there, then I can now increase that up if I wanted to, or just add more to the length of it. So that's my whole process behind everything. If you keep watching, I'll keep you posted on it. As I said, I've reset these ones. I'm going to just restart the whole challenge, I think, because since the first one, just because I made mistakes. If you remember those videos, I made quite a few blunders myself, and I just moved away from the Dutching part because I found, and speaking to other members in my Discord and other people, BF Bot Manager just does not seem to handle Dutching really well for whatever reason. I love the concept of Dutching, and when it works, but when it doesn't, it doesn't. And I don't know if it's necessarily an issue with the Dutching, or the Dutching with recovery, or Dutching with the staking plans, that sometimes it could just go skew with and wouldn't work. So I came down to these, just a more basic plan. There's no harsh recovery. You set it. You know what's going to be. You can also set that, hey, if it reaches 20, it just stops. You don't want to do it no more. It just stops. You have to work that out based on your own bankroll, how much you want to risk. Anything you do like this, it's going to be a risk. You always have to remember that. Anybody out there saying, oh, it's guaranteed, nothing's guaranteed, because every day is different. Nobody knows the future. If you knew the future, we'd all be rich. But it's more having an educated risk. You know what's going to be happening. Worst case scenario, if I leave this on, the worst case that's going to happen is going to be minus. Let me see. I'm trying to click on the screen, not the actual bot itself. I know, worst case scenario, if it gets down to here, if it loses 21 times, I have lost £40, roughly. Maybe a wee bit more counting these in, because if we look to our chart, the chart will tell us that. If I get to 2048, my next loss is £40.96. But by doing it the way I've done it, I've took it from being at step 12 to step 20. So I've allowed myself that longer run in the game without having to go to these crazy steps. Yeah, and that's it. So I think that's pretty much. I'll keep you, as I said, I'll keep you updated on everything that's happening. And hopefully you've liked this video. You've been enjoying my bot series. If you haven't watched my background videos, go check them out, because I've been having a great time with that. Also had a video up recently where my Delato updates, my drop shipping and how things have been going there recently. So if you're into your drop shipping, go check that out. And yeah, that's it. So if you like this video, well, give it the like. That's what everybody says in these YouTube channels. YouTube loves all the likes. And obviously subscribe if you haven't, and any comments, please. I love to hear people's thoughts and opinions and things. I don't sit here proclaiming I know everything or anything. I'm just going by my own experience and what I've been doing. There's a lot smarter people out there than me. I'm just on here. I try to give everything a go, and I try to be as honest as I can and show me giving it a go, put my own money at risk. And so maybe if you see it's not working for me, well, it might not work for you. Or if it does work for me, then hey, come over. But that'll do me. Enough waffle. And until the next one, I'll see you then. Bye now.